Hello, welcome to the Self-Instruction Lab Fingerspelling CD. This is the beginning lesson where I show you the beginning hand shapes. I'll go ahead and start. A. It's a fist with a thumb up to the side. Notice if you look, there's the circle, there's the line. It makes an A. B. Your thumb should be curled down in. Mine doesn't do that, but if yours can, get it in there. B. C. Your hand forms a C. D. Index finger up, the others form a circle. Your thumb again should be curled. Mine doesn't do that. Oh, there we go. There's a D. Okay, my thumb is straight, but if yours can curl, go for it. D. E. Notice the fingertips are resting on the thumb comfortably. The hand should be relaxed. The only tight muscles in here are right in here. Everything else is relaxed. Some people do this kind of E, and there every muscle in the hand, every muscle in the wrist, and some muscles in the forearm are very tight. You do your E that way, and you are going to get carpal tunnel very shortly. E. F. Index finger and thumb touch. The other fingers are straight up. The American OK. F. Many beginners get D and F confused. I don't know why. They don't look anything alike to me, but as a beginner, I did the same thing. D and F are confused for some reason. They process in our brain that way. G. Thumb and index finger point straight out. Notice the hand is, all of the others, the hand shape, the palm orientation has been like this. This one's going to drop down this way. So the palm is aiming out this way. G. In Georgia, you'll see the Georgia G. And the sign for Georgia is Georgia. Georgia. G-A. And this is called the Georgia G. You don't see that anywhere else in the country except here, or from people from Georgia who moved to other states. Most of the time in the beginning or the middle of a word, it'll be this G. At the end of the word, it'll be this G. For ending, for example, will be this G. H. This one causes a lot of people trouble, primarily because the books make it look like this or like this. Okay, those both hurt. Your hand it's not perfectly straight. There's a bit of a curve there, but it's not so far down that it hurts in through here. It should be relaxed. H. I. Pinky up. J starts the same way. It's going to come down and draw a J. 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 K is a hard one for many people. Start with a V. Drop that middle finger down. Bring the thumb up till it touches that first knuckle line right there. K. There it is from the side. K. There it is from the normal viewing angle in a word. K. L. Pretty easy. Looks like an L. M. 3 fingers over the thumb, pinky underneath. The thumb sticks out between the pinky and the ring finger. M. Sometimes in the middle of a word, you'll see it with the fingers kind of sticking straight out. Ammo, with M this way. It's still an M. N, thumb is between the ring and middle fingers. And again, you'll often see it with the ends, with the fingers sticking out. Annie, Annie. N, N. O. Thumb is touching these first 2 fingers. The others just kind of complete the circle. There's your O. O. P, the same as K, but making a rough right angle with the wrist and hand. It shouldn't be down so hard that it hurts. It should still be comfortable. You're just kind of flopping that wrist down to the comfortable point. K, P. Q. Same as G, but drops down. Should not hurt, should be comfortable. If you have any military background, KP, GQ are military terms. They should help you remember which one's up, which one's down, which one's up, which one's down. KP, GQ. R, fingers crossed. S, a normal fist with the thumb in front of the fingers. T, thumb between the index and middle finger. U, same as the H, but the palm is out, not in, and the fingertips are pointing straight up, not at any angle. V, looks like a V, and peace, man. W, 3 fingers up, thumb holds the pinky down. W. X, index finger crooked to the not crooked to the side, just crooked. X. Y, thumb and pinky out to the side, other fingers curled down in towards your palm. Y. And Z, index finger draws a Z in the air. Some people move only with the wrist, some people move from the elbow, doesn't matter. Z, Z. Now we said our ABCs. Okay, I won't sing anymore, I promise. So how do you fingerspell? First step is position. Your hand should be in front of your shoulder, elbow comfortably at your side, forearm tucked back, so that your hand and your mouth are in relatively close proximity so that someone looking at you can read your lips. Very helpful when trying to read fingerspelling, and see your hand at the same time. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Notice the hand stayed right in this position the whole time with just some wrist movements. As you fingerspell, notice the hand is not directly palm straight ahead, and it's not palm to the side. It's at roughly a 45-degree angle. It should be comfortable. Twisting out this way puts all these muscles into tension. That hurts. Turning it to the side, you can't read it. You can't tell whether that's an A or a T or a B or well, it's not a B. A or a T or an S. Can't tell. So you need to be close enough to the front that you can see clearly what the hand shape is, but not so far that it hurts. Okay? Roughly a 45-degree angle. You are now ready to start spelling words. The first thing you need to think about is not to say L-E-T-T-E-R-S. It's a natural tendency. You just need, okay, this is L, this is E, this is T, this is T. Okay, that is a process in the beginning that you'll have to go through, but keep it as short as possible. Your goal is to go letters. And it's hard, but it helps you in the long run. If you think in letters and just keep on doing that and just keep on building speed so that eventually you're C-H-E-R-I-E, you're never going to be able to get any faster than that. C-H-E-R-I-E is the fastest I can say C-H-E-R-I-E. But I can say Cherie a lot faster. Cherie, Cherie. So if you do letters, C-H-E-R-I-E, you're going to hit a wall beyond which you cannot build any speed or fluency. If you if you do the sounding out the word, you will be able to get up to natural speed, which is fingerspelling. Oops, I did that wrong. Fingerspelling. Fingerspelling. That is natural speed. So, do not say or think the letters as you spell. Spell cat. Okay, you should have said k-at, or thought k-at, not C-A-T. As you build speed, k-at becomes cat. And that's the natural fluency that you want to develop. When you started learning to write way back, however young that was for you, you started out learning to make the letters drawing whole rows of A's and whole rows of B's and whole rows of C's, and then you started to spell words. And there might have been a short period there where you went C, A, T, but eventually your teacher said, no, 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 sound it out. And you went K, A-T, and you spelled out cat. And now, when you spell cat, you don't think C-A-T, you think cat, and cat magically appears on the paper without you having to worry about the letters. And that works for little words like cat, and it works for big words like finger spelling. You don't think about F-I-N-G-E-R, etc. You think finger spelling, and out comes the word. That's the goal with finger spelling. It should be like writing. And reading finger spelling should be like reading. You should see a word and not letter, 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 letter. As you start to practice, you need to focus on clarity, not speed. Speed will come. It will develop with practice and time. The more you practice, the more soon you will develop the speed that you want. If you start with speed as your goal and work on doing it as fast as you can, what happens is you lose clarity. Your finger shapes, the hand shapes are not clear, and you will develop speed, but you'll also be learning wrong hand shapes, and they'll become ingrained. It becomes a pattern thing inside your brain, and you will always do it wrong. So at some later point, someone's going to say, you know, I can't understand your finger spelling at all. And you're going to say, oh, okay, well, I need to work on that, and try to back up, and you're going to have to relearn the whole thing because those patterns of handshakes and movements are in your brain, and you can't get them out. So start aiming for clarity. The speed and will come naturally. Clarity does not come naturally. You have to work at that. Another important thing to remember is to keep your hand steady. Many people bounce, especially beginning signers. And that's 90% of the time a sign that you're thinking in letters, not in sounding out the word. B-O-U-N-C-E is pretty easy, but b-ow-n-s is not so easy to do this and think, because ow is one, but that's two bounces. It doesn't work, so it's harder. It's possible, but whatever. Try not. This is bad. It's kind of like somebody, you're trying to read a book and somebody's moving the paper back and forth in front of you. It's very hard to read. If you have this problem, grab that sucker and hold him still. Okay? And then it's much harder to bounce if you have this other hand, because then that's a lot more movement, then you notice what you're doing and you can stop it. As you start to practice, hold your wrist if you bounce. And then as you notice that okay, it's not so bad, you're only bouncing a little bit, you can move back to this, and that'll just be just a reminder. You don't have to hold her still, you just have to remind yourself to keep it still. And then move back, and then move back. And eventually you'll be finger spelling without all the extra bouncing in there. Now, sometimes you gotta bounce. Double letters. L-E-T-T-E-R. Letter. Letter. Now the word kind of, it moves a little bit to the side. It doesn't do this, but it will move this way, slightly. C-A-B-B-I-E. See the bounce? Not for the C-A or the I-E, but just for the B-B. Cabby, cabby, cabby. Let's think. Jill, Jill, Jill. Okay, the L bounces slightly side to side. It is not this way, and it's very slight. Okay, now you're ready to start practicing. You have to practice. The only way to become fluent with fingerspelling is to practice. My teacher way back when told me to practice all the time. While you're walking, while you're driving, while you're thinking, whatever, fingerspell. And it's a habit now for me. If you watch me walking sometimes, you'll see that little hand down here, just a fingerspell, because it's become a habit. That's the way to become fluent in fingerspelling. The more you practice, the quicker you will develop that thinking, the writing word, not letter, 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 letter thing. And the smoother it will become. You still need to focus on clarity, but as you go, clarity, then eventually you'll become clarity, and it'll be smooth. Your next step in the lesson plan is the Guillory method. This is a very old method, developed way back in the 60s or so, in schools that taught using the Rochester method. For those of you who don't know, the Rochester method is the method of teaching deaf children using nothing but fingerspelling. That was a bad fingerspelling. The idea is to teach them exact English by showing them every darn letter. Wow, I'm glad I don't have to learn that way. Anyway, it's an awful method of teaching, but it's a wonderful method for learning fingerspelling. Bye-bye.